where 6 and 7 figure CEOs build their purpose-driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
All right. Hello, mission-driven entrepreneurs. Welcome back to our show where I have another amazing guest on. And today we're speaking about heart activation to self-love and how does that actually connect and how is it that we can apply that and most importantly, really live a fulfilled life and really fulfill our mission in our businesses. I want to introduce to you my guest and we will go further into the topic. Tami Jean. Tami, thank you so much for finding time to be on my show today. I'm looking forward to having a really great chat with you over the topic.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. So Tami, I usually start off all my guests with an introduction. I feel like when I do the introduction for them, I'm like missing out or leaving things out, of what they're done or what, they like to share. So I will ask you, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Well, I help women to find self-love and help them to find worth through some techniques that I have learned, that I've created a program to help them find a happier life for themselves, to find love, well, not only for themselves, but possibly for somebody else.
Absolutely. That is such an important, work, I would say. And as women, as a woman being one myself, I think that's where everything starts with whatever we'd like to achieve in our life. I think it's really being fulfilled and feeling good and staying strong to who we really are and understanding that so that we can do good in the world and do all these amazing things that we're trying to do. So how did you get started? Tell me a little bit about your story. How did you get into this work?
Well, long story short, I spent a large majority of my life in an abusive relationship. And after many years and not knowing who I was or having any self-worth, I was finally able to get out of that, made some more bad choices. And through that, I was able to finally get the help I needed from a verbally abusive relationship. One of the key things I like to point out is people who go through verbally abusive relationships, they're not necessarily physically abused, but that verbal, emotional, mental abuse can cause a lot of damage. And I was pretty damaged, I feel like. So I finally got to a point where I found a therapist who was able to help me and guide me and teach me. And through that, I got some confidence and I found some footing. And then I started working with energy healing to help heal myself through tarot, Reiki, and crystal therapy, and many other tools that I've learned from therapists and coaches to help me to grow, to get to a point where I'm able to help other people now.
Well, that's a beautiful story. And more importantly, it's really, your experience is going to help pave the way for someone else that might be in those situations that is really looking for this type of help so that they can really, feel better and create the life that they want at the end of the day. I think that's really important for women especially as well. So let's go into the topic of, heart activation to self-love. Why is that important? How do we ignite all this? Where do we start?
Well, I believe the first thing is really self-awareness and learning. A main part that I teach in my program is learning that we're all souls. We're all eternal souls on this human journey. And so understanding that bigger picture and that bigger perspective is really important for everybody. And all these things we're dealing with and going through, we have to understand that this is just part of our journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So the spiritual awareness is where everything starts. Like even for me personally, we do so many things unconsciously, and we know so much now over our subconscious mind and all the behaviors and the habits and the things that we do. And a lot of times when we don't have that awareness, we're not really sure of how these things are actually impacting us, whether serving us or hurting us, in both angles. So having that awareness, increasing that awareness over, the things that are negatively affecting us, especially
Yeah.
with the way we might be treating ourselves or in whatever area that, we want to improve on. That's where everything started. It's like, that's like the first step, understanding that we have something that we want to improve and something that we need to reach out and get more help. How has
Yes.
that been for you personally? Have you kind of been through that phase yourself of self-awareness?
Yeah, I through an awakening. About 6 years ago, I kind of got to a point where I kind of woke up, like a light bulb went off, and finally finding awareness. And I have tools that I can help people to find that awareness and figure that out and learn to listen to their intuition and learn to listen to their gut. Too many of us push that down and ignore that and don't do what's really truly right for us and what feels right for us. It may not be the right thing to do, but it's the right thing for us, and having the confidence and strength to do that. And that's one of the biggest things, is following your intuition and trusting yourself and learning to have that trust and self-worth in yourself.
Well, we talk very often on the show about intuition, because I think it's such an important skill, not only in business, but also personal life, and really understanding, who to surround ourselves with. What are the best decisions for us? What is it that we want? At the end of the day, I think we need to have clarity over the things that we actually want. And a lot of times, unless we tap into, all these different things and understand more of that, then we don't, we just pretty much a lot of times living a life out of other people's choices or culture or programming or the way we were raised, or maybe, we saw our parents kind of do. So it's kind of washing our way, strapping ourselves and removing all these different layers, so that we can really understand that, okay, what at the core of me, what does my heart and my soul really want to do at whatever point in time that we are actually asking a question. And it's great for decision making,
Right.
For us to make really great decisions that feel aligned with where we're trying to go, we need to do this kind of work so that we make better decisions. I'm not saying we're going to avoid all mistakes. The mistakes are part of learning.
We need those.
To grow, but definitely, developing intuition, I think, is an important thing that you teach women to do. And it's such a powerful thing, whether, like I said, you are in your personal life or your business or whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's really an important thing. Tami, tell me a little bit more over as far as, self-love. What are something you could share with us, like some tips or, a message maybe, or lessons you have learned personally, so that we get more in touch with that inner self and inner being and our inner desires, and we're trying to accomplish towards finding out how to self-love ourselves and love ourselves more deeper, about everything that we are actually doing.
Right. To touch a little bit on what you just said, I teach cord cutting and helping people to release that old energy and cut that energy away so they can start new and learn. It's important for us to know that we are powerful creators and we are able to create. And unfortunately, society has taught us that we have to look a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things. And especially for women, unfortunately, we're taught that being, self-care is selfish. Taking care of ourselves is selfish. So what I've learned is that I like the analogy of like a pitcher of water. If you picture a pitcher of water and you're filling up your pitcher of water, but you keep pouring it out to everybody around you and not allowing it to fill up for yourself, you're not getting what you need first before you're spilling out all of your giving and your love to everybody else. And putting ourselves first, we're going to be such better friends, partners, mothers, daughters, everything, if we're filling our own pitcher first and then allowing it to spill out to other people. Too many of us don't take that time. Take a little walk in the garden, have a bubble bath. Take that time for yourself. Buy yourself your favorite bottle of wine, or buy yourself your favorite dinner. Watch your favorite movie. Doing those little things are like recharging us and giving us that love that we need from ourselves, because honestly, nobody can love us the way we can love ourselves. And that's a really, really important fact to know. Nobody is going to love us like we can love ourselves. And if we're too hard on ourselves and aren't giving ourselves or beating ourselves up over every little thing, that's only going to hurt our self-worth and our value. And that's something that I teach that's really, really important, is finding a way to love yourself so that you can be better for yourself and others, the others around you.
Mm. Well, something you just said like sparked something in me with that conversation, is that it's so important because a lot of times we're looking for love to other people. Before I started my self-development journey, I would say I was miserable in my relationship because I had all these expectations, and when they were not met, I was always like unhappy, and I wanted my husband to, to fill me up and give me attention and all these things that I didn't even know how to give to myself yet.
Right.
I think that's another very important part as far as relationship wise, that
Yeah.
we have to learn how to do all this for ourselves, be completely ecstatic and happy with ourselves,
Yes.
so that we go full into relationships with other people. And it could be partner, parent, child,
Yeah.
right? So we are not in this, needy energy, and we always, are lacking.
Yes.
We have to heal some of these wounds, and I figured out through that I have so much. I wish I would have known you then. Because,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Everything I've gone through, I wish somebody would have told me this stuff. So I want to tell everybody. I can, and I've been able to help a few younger women who are in their 20s and get them to a point where they don't have to wait till they're in their 40s and through struggles and divorces and all that stuff, taking care of themselves. It's unfortunate people go out into the world saying, "Oh, I want to find my other half." We need to be whole. We need to find our whole selves and really be confident in who we are and love ourselves and accept ourselves before we can really allow someone else to love us and truly be able to receive that love. That's a key component that most people don't understand, is actually allowing and receiving love from other people. If you ask people, do you receive love? Well, of course I receive love. Who doesn't receive love, right? But do you really allow people to do things for you and help you and love you? Or do you just do for everybody else and not let anybody do for you?
Oh my gosh, that is a big lesson. I love that you said that, because receiving love, through healing some of these things, it's something that, or asking for help. A lot of times,
Yes.
that's another sign that you just kind of take on so much of yourself and you close yourself so much off that I can do this on my own. But you need to be able to open up and heal so that you are able to ask for help if you need it, and also put a voice, behind all these things. I thought that my partner had to mind read me and figure you should know that. And a lot of that because of my associations to prior past and all of that. So this is important work. I think this is why we all do what we do, right? And I love the industry because we've kind of been there through the journey. So that now it's that saying, like, I wish somebody would have helped me when I was there. And now we have a chance because we're now on the other side, and we have packed ourselves with so much experience, wisdom, tools that now we can utilize that to help somebody else along the journey based on the area that we feel today. That's also an important distinction there too.
Right. Well, my next program is going to teach women how to understand men. That's one of the biggest problems I see, is women don't speak the same language as men, and there's a lot of issues that can be completely avoided.
That's one thing that's going to be really, really important. So I'm glad you're going to teach that. That's going to help really, keep these relationships in quality, because a lot of times, we just don't know what to do. So we might be into something or creating, a situation that could be probably saved through you growing through your own personal journey. Not everything is unsolvable, and once you kind of go through this journey, you understand that it was always about you anyway, and that kind of revelation is, I think, very, very empowering. Tami, I want to ask you about your heart activation and mending hearts. Like, what does that mean for you? I know that's also the name of your program that you help your clients and women with. But as far as you are concerned, what does it mean for you to mend your heart?
So Mending Hearts is really, I used that as a title because I felt it was really important. Some of us came into life and didn't have a great home situation, ended up in bad marriages and such. And, most of us have a broken heart in some way or another, but through self-love and through heart activation, which I'll explain a little bit more, we can mend that heart. My logo has the stitches across the heart. We can get to a point where we can, and I was able to do it. I struggled my whole life with loving myself, liking myself. And I have found through these techniques that I teach that I was able to heal my heart and create a situation where I could activate my heart. And learning to activate your heart and open your heart chakra, if anyone's into the chakras, opening your heart chakra and really allowing love in, brought me, I had given up on love, I'll tell you. But I was able to activate my heart and open myself up to love, and the universe just dropped my king, I call him, into my lap. I had completely given up, and now I found a man, and this is going to be like residual from my coaching program. But because I was able to love myself and open my heart, activate my heart, to mend my heart and then activate my heart, I was able to open up and attract love. True, unconditional love of somebody who truly admires and treasures me as a woman. And I never, ever thought I could find that, but I know this works, and that's why I want to share it with everybody else.
Yeah, that's the amazing byproduct of the work.
Yes.
All these different components. So that's the byproduct of us really, being whole and healing ourselves so that we attract the right person.
Yes.
Really sees us and knows our worth and appreciates us and all these amazing things that come with true unconditional love. And I think especially in partnership, because I've also been married for 20 years now. But that's what I figured out. The secret to a good relationship is that if everyone does their own self-work work, and
yes,
it's always evolving, and at the end of the day, you come together and you are a team and you complement one another and you're working towards common vision and goal. I think it's important to connection build that everyone has to constantly on their own. We are not putting our stuff on each other and we're causing pressure and stress and all these different things.
Right. Well, that's called interdependence. You don't want, we don't, as humans, a lot of us either are too independent or we're too dependent. But finding somebody you can be interdependent with and really work together and complement each other, not really, you count on each other. I don't mean it that way, but not really relying on that other person to be your other half, but to be interdependent, work together as two wholes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tami, we've actually reached the end of our interview. Maybe we can have you on another time and teach us something more specific around this topic. I think this was really great, amazing work and mission that you have kind of, are bringing into the world and are going to continue to pursue. And I'm very grateful that we're working together on really bringing this mission and vision to reality as far as really making that impact that you want to make with this and helping as many people as you can through this process.
Yes.
I always like to ask my guests at the end, what is the mission that you feel most called to serve right now? What is that thing that you really pulls you out of bed in the morning and really, makes it worthwhile to go through the journey of building a business and growing that mission and making that impact?
I don't like to sound cliche, but I've been in the beauty industry most of my life and dealt with women one-on-one, and I see too much, women who don't love them. The self-love, as cliche as it sounds, is the most important thing. True unconditional self-love that's what gets me out of bed. Finding opportunities and ways to connect with women or anybody, to teach them and help them and show them their self-worth and how to love themselves is going to make a huge impact on their lives and the world. Honestly, the more love we bring into this world and the higher the vibration of this world, it's going to impact everything. It ripples.
Well, nothing else to add to that. That's a beautiful message. where all the world problems are going to end. If people go within themselves,
Yeah.
and a positive person will never hurt anyone else.
Exactly.
I unite to that mission for sure. So thank you so much for sharing that. And lastly, Tami, where is it that people can connect with you further and find out more about this area and learn more around all these different topics that you so passionately teach?
Mainly right now I'm working on Facebook. I have a group called Mending Hearts. It is a private group, but I would be super happy to invite anybody in to the group and include them. It's a safe place where we can all open up and learn and grow together and build a tribe and a community.
Awesome. So that is the Facebook group. So I hope people join and learn more about you and also all these amazing tools that we all need. And whatever phase and stage, I think it's always something that we constantly need to work on. It's not like we've done the work, because sometimes we self-develop.
It's never over.
It's like, is this something you can learn and just be done with this? No.
Nope. It's a journey.
It's a journey. So,
It's a
you know,
journey.
I'm sure that whatever you will share there and all the amazing tools you have collected along the journey are going to be very, very helpful for our community. So I thank you personally for your time and also for everything you shared with us today and for the way that you actually served our audience through everything that you had to tell us. Thank you so much. We've actually reached the end of our interview, and I will see you next week. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.